Jess, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you undetected.
Random, baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I, too, am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
Around?
But how much do you actually understand money? Especially the new wave.
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it is men's kryptonite. Welcome to Talk to Me, Taylor. What are they trying so hard to protect? What are they trying to protect? And who in the hell, or maybe I should say who in the hay, since I am out here on a farm, am I talking about? We're going to get into it tonight, guys. And I quite literally am out in farm country in Virginia, staying on the beautiful horse farm and property of the very esteemed Dr. Robert and Jill Malone, who have been on my show multiple times. They're friends of Rob's and mine. Grammatically correct at all times or else. And, you know, I don't know if it's just being on like a freedom farm on good old American soil, baby. But first of all, even though I am in this oasis, okay, even though a peacock quite literally shit on my balcony this morning, it did watch me, you know, as I meditated. You know, I was just with a horse a second ago, you know, but all that, I wasn't going to just abandon you like that. Okay. I'm not like the mainstream trad establishment media just abandoning logic and reasoning and common sense. Like, I'm not going to do you like that. So I'm coming to you from the farm. And like I said, maybe it is like the farm life of it all. Maybe it's being with folks like the Malones, but it really kind of reignited in me why I started all of this to begin with, right? My lust, not just for all of you, but for freedom and calling out the nonsense. And I've seen so many stories and that, you know, go right into this and kind of bring me back to where kind of I started on this journey, being a little like ball buster in establishment media, calling it the machine out from the inside. But seeing these stories, and you guys know, sometimes I've had a little bit of fatigue. Like, are we still doing this? Like, bitch, it's been 5 years, it's been 8 years, it's been 10 years. But it brings me to the question I brought to you in the beginning, which is what are they protect? Like, how are we still doing this? What is it going to take? And as if, because I'm not going to leave you in more mystery. You see, I'm not in the classic Talk to Me, Taylor green screen at that. No, I am in what we have dubbed the lodge. Is this not the coolest man cave you've ever seen? I was like, I'm sitting on a pillow right now, right? Okay. I may as well be a shaman, like giving a whole sermon, but that's the lengths I wanted to go to bring you into this experience in the name of freedom, baby. So I'm going to keep it tight because we're about to grill ourselves some good red American meat and some steaks. But first is the big 60 Minutes Bari Weiss Scott Pelley story. So the short of it is Bari Weiss, who can do no wrong in my book, get the fuck over it. I don't care. I have been following Bari from the common sense days. Okay. So I'm a ride or die, not just like ride on that horse, which I'm going to learn to do here because I face the fears. You know, I face reality, unlike all of these people. I've been following her since the Common Sense days when she launched that site during the pandemic, right? So now the Free Press has gotten so huge. CBS has acquired them, and it's a whole thing. So now she's a head honcho over there. So there was a little squabble. And look, this is going to be a lot of speculating tonight, but I don't care. Okay, because my blonde spidey senses are never wrong. And we know from this aesthetic, shit has gone down in this room. Like if walls had eyes. And I feel like this won't age poorly. Okay. Don't let the blonde fool you. I've said it before and I've said it again. Okay. So we're going to speculate, but methinks that I'm right. So there was a little squabble because Scott Pelley, who's like a 60 Minutes vet, was fired by Bari Bar, as I like to call her, because we're best friends in my mind. It's fine. And and we all know, right? I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist, right? Like Scott Pelley is somebody who represents like old school establishment media, and Bari Weiss is very common sense, like new wave, all this. And apparently so you can only imagine, right, what actually went down. But apparently she got rid of a couple top execs there and brought in fresh voices, i.e. we're going to get to the Spencer Proud of it all. Like, oh my God, like, how can you even imagine? Again, what are these people protecting? Like, why do they unravel at any green light thinking, fresh thinking, populist, real thinking? Like, why do they come undone getting there? So he says that they wanted to inject, and oh, I think my connection is going out. Shoot. Can you guys hear me? I think my connection went out, but I think I may be good now. Okay, we're going to pick it up. The show must go on. That's how it be on the farm, like roll with or roll out. So he's saying that they wanted to inject biases and falsehoods into a politically charged story. Also, she brought in new top execs. One of them being a former, I forget his name, but he's the new executive producer of 60 Minutes. Again, I brought the fresh air, a former tech reporter and a filmmaker, right? So apparently she's bringing these people in, and the likes of Scott Pelley, like, just go after them. And, apparently it was like unprofessional. You can imagine it was ego driven. Like, this is in person, right? And all of this. And Bari was saying that this just isn't like professional, probably nonsensical, all of this. But what's more fascinating than this is the complete media meltdown. Again, like, why am I in Inception where every single level and layer is the same story? We have seen this story before, right? So again, God forbid, bringing in fresh voices, a fresh point of view, maybe to shake things up from the old ass fucking dinosaurs at the likes of 60 Minutes. So now what's so fascinating to see is the fallout and the panic, right? And the doomsday. Like, oh no, like all the, I hate using mainstream because it's so watered down now. We have the commentary YouTube. Yeah, I think it's just the connection out here on the farm life. I feel like I'm, by the way, like Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie, Simple Life 2.0. But how they are doomsday about it all. Like, oh no, the future of media is a dark and dangerous and scary time if this is indicative of what's to come. And it's like, what are you protecting? Like, it hasn't been working for you, babe. It hasn't been working. I've been screaming this from the rooftops for like a decade from inside the machine. It's not working for you. You guys are all tanking. You're all flailing, like Flounder and the Little Mermaid out on a hot rock. It's just not working for you. So why is this now things like this? Like, oh no, what's going to happen if this is like a premonition of media to come? And it reminds me of so many times. That's why I'm like, we've seen this story before, right? Where I have seen it from the inside. And even then, I mean, each time they're protecting something different. Maybe it's their own narrative. These days, it's so politicized that it's like, God forbid, like the fact that people write Bari Weiss off as like a MAGA friendly is bananas. Okay. So that tells you everything you need to know. Maybe it's because they're protecting the elite or celebrity, or it goes against what they're supposed to be. I've been there a million times. My Chrissy Teigen story, which you guys know about, in which case I called her out on a big platform, VH1. They came for me. She came for me. Well, who are they protecting? The elitist Chrissy Teigen. How about the time when I interviewed, this isn't Me Too peak Hollywood, okay? When I interviewed R. Kelly survivors, who's literally verbatim, I have the recording said to me, or that they said, why don't, oh God, I just broke another pair. sorry to hear that. It's okay. My brain is broken all this far, but I don't know. Maybe it's like the beauty in the air or the manure. I don't know. Either way. So bear with me. But yes, when I interviewed the R. Kelly survivors, right? And they were like giving a plea to A-list celebrities, like, please come forward with your stories so the nobodies like us have a voice. Like, help us out because you're out here pandering to Me Too all day long. Help. I'm kind of like rough around the edges, but you get it. No outlet would pick it up. Why? because it would, despite, by the way, on the surface, we're going to get to a story about this that's happening now in a much more sinister realm, by the way, going on, but to protect their own self-interest, because God forbid they call the celebrities out, even though the celebrities are virtue signaling about Me Too, and here's their chance to actually do something, and they don't. Give me the biggest break. Another example is when I had around, and it's such a sensitive topic, but around like police brutality, right? And I had a cop on my show who's also a media personality a few years ago. His name is Chris Sherwin, and he was a host of the Cops Talk podcast. And I talked to him right around the time, if you guys remember, when that Routers journalist came under fire, similar thing. Like, he was thrown under the bus by all of his employees because he actually dug into the real numbers and was showing how racially motivated police brutality, like the numbers were so misrepresented in the media. And he did his research and he showed it, right? And they were all like, no, how could you, right? But it's like, okay, but like, what are we even doing here? So, that's what I don't understand. And it's like, I get it. Listen, I have family members. I have really close friends who like literally will dry heave at the thought of like a right leaning of Fox News, whatever it is. But, and I'm not saying, and I get it. I get that both sides cherry pick. I get that both sides exaggerate, like harder than your high school girlfriend PMSing. Like, trust me, I get it. But in the name of true democracy, true freedom, green light thinking, progress, keyword progress. Again, I'm going to ask for the fifth freaking time. Like, what are you why does it make you spiral? Why are you so stuck in the muds? Why are you stuck in your ways? So it really drew a parallel for me to the Spencer Pratt story, because I've been so fascinated by that whole thing in the LA mayoral race. And I think for me, it really hits close to home because LA was such a huge part of my story. And, my red carpet experience, and where Talk to Me Taylor was born, and all of that. And so I left because of how much of a shithole it is and how it's run. I understand from firsthand experience. I mean, I always say, like, I've never seen a city that loves to suffer. It's like self-inflicted pain and suffering more than LA. I saw it when Eric Garcetti was mayor during the pandemic, when they kept electing Gavin Newsom after annihilating our lives. Okay, we literally couldn't even step out on our front yard without a hazmat suit. Never mind, God forbid, make a living and work. They totally annihilated. Remember all the small businesses? Also, the things that didn't make sense. Can we talk about how in a restaurant you had to wear a mask walking through but not sitting? So it's like, oh, I see. Okay, so I can only get a sickness if I'm walking and not sitting. And re-electing this guy over and over. Guys, I got caught by a park patrol guy, like state trooper man, on a highway overlook on the beach in Santa Monica, like here, there, everywhere. God forbid, like breathing fresh air. But here they are electing these shit ass leaders over and over. So when I see, and I get it, I get the incumbent, it's always just like the run of the mill, which is also so sad and par for the course. And I think it just shows how goddamn lazy we are. Lazy and entitled. We have the 250th coming up, and the fact that, like, yes, our past is complicated and messy, but that it was the most revolutionary, no pun intended, experiment that completely changed the world, built on autonomy and sovereignty and democracy and populism and voice to the people. And that we literally shit on that every day by holding on to these old systems. I don't care if it's, traditional media for whatever reason, or something like, incumbents in a mayoral race, like holding on to the old when not like, why aren't they outraged? Why aren't they outraged that news isn't fresher, that there aren't fresher voices and perspectives brought in? Same thing with the mayoral race. Someone like a Spencer Pratt, right? Who's so fired up, who so says exactly what we're thinking in such a non-career politician, but human, honest way, and knows because his house quite literally burned down, like our lives metaphorically did in 2020 there, and is so common sense and reasonable about it and exposing all the corruption. Like, why aren't they outraged by all of that? But instead, I couldn't believe when I even see, and I get it, but it makes me so sad. Like, Karen Bass, of course, like taking lead, and they're going to go head to head, right? And it's so funny because he's like, I have 5 more months of exposing all of her lies. But it just, yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand. I just think it's a slap in the face to what we built and having the greatest, most thriving democracy in the world. So I don't know. It makes me, I'm like, you have to be like, why do you like suffering? Why do you like pain? Like, why? You have to be, it's a special kind of stupid. Like, if you have been living in LA, and it's not an exaggeration. I recently went and it made me so sad. I was seeing all the places I used to go when I first moved there, like coffee shops and places we go out to get drinks. And literally everything is needle ridden and smells like piss. Like, how are you not outraged at a naked person experiencing homelessness, like shooting up on your kid's kindergarten ground? Like, how are you not outraged at coffee being $9? How? So I'm like, dude, these, like, again, what are you protecting? What are you holding on to? Unless you're so out of touch, like Lisa Renna coded, that you have no idea what the average person is experiencing, you must really just be a masochist and love pain. Like, is it out of principle? I mean, I was watching the results and Rob's like, what do you expect? Like, this is par for the course. And I'm like, I can't wrap my brain around that level of stupidity. But these people, again, whether it be holding on to traditional media, which is totally failing, or traditional political establishments, like they can't all be that stupid. So is holding, and look, I'm not even asking for you to flip or consider whatever another political side, but just open thinking, new, real progressive, not all this bullshit pandering progressive. Because let me tell you something, it's actually gone backwards. And that's the kicker, right? The people of tolerance and openness and acceptance. Like, how have we gotten to a place where it is the complete opposite? It's nuts. I'm checking up on some comments really quickly. John Legend killing it. Oh my God, John Legend with the Karen spelling. I put it up on the screen. Okay. So Godspeed Spencer. I love the whole thing. And it's just really inspiring and I've always had a little inkling and always nudge, like, should I be? I don't know if politics is in my future. I don't know if that's quite my thing, but it's so inspiring. And I think it's so short-sighted and pea-brain narrow-minded for people to be like, oh, a reality star, oh, Spencer Pratt, blah, blah, blah. When you actually listen to him, it just makes sense. And he knows his shit. And it's just, if we want to progress as a peoples, as a nation, as an individual, if all of this is indicative, we're going to have a sad ass state of affairs. So before we close, 2 stories really quickly of where it's going and where it will go, right? If we don't get our shit together when it comes to all of this. So neither of these are my forte, but I heard about both of them today and I was like, I have to tell these guys because they're nuts. So the first story, again, this is about like holding on to narratives and media representation, or how they represent stories. So in April, okay, so there is an organization called the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're based in Alabama, and their whole mission statement is eradicating prejudice and white supremacy and hate against the gays. Like, that is their whole thing. Meanwhile, in April, a federal grand jury charged the SPLC is the abbreviation, for basically fraud, misrepresenting funds and money to basically funneling money on the low to leaders at organizations like the KKK, like the National Socialist Party of America, okay? Saying they were unbeknownst to donors, right? So meanwhile, on the outward facing, it'd be like, we're taking down white supremacy, all of this, but on the low, funneling money to what they call, quote, insiders who belong to said hate groups, okay, that it pledged to dismantle and eradicate publicly. So the reason this is resurfacing is because there are new details in the lawsuit. Now the DOJ is involved, and they're saying that in the last decade that this organization allegedly spent more than $3 to $4 million of donor money to people in these hate groups. Okay. It's like giving BLM like millions and millions of dollars donated for one cause, only to give these bitches mansions. That's what it's giving. But what's more interesting, other than that this shit even goes on, but again, are we literally surprised? Because I feel like we're so numb at this point. Again, where is the outrage? Okay. So first of all, I'm sorry. So yeah. So the reason that this is resurfacing now is because I think I may have said this, but more information has come out. But the lack of media attention is insane. And again, why aren't they outraged? Okay. But also, when you do like go in the depths of the internet to find this, when you see headlines from like a New York Times, right? There's no mention of them funding the KKK in the headline. It's like, the DOJ misstepping, blah, 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 like looking at the DOJ. It's what? Again, what are you protecting? Why is this your hill to die on? Whether it's turning a cheek with an R. Kelly survivor or turning the other way, a blind eye, whatever you want to freaking say. Yeah, allegedly, John Legend, exactly, with all the stars, the stars on the plastic stars on your ceiling as a millennial in your teenagers, like all that shit, right? Allegedly. But like, this is where it drives me absolutely crazy because it's hypocritical. Where do I begin? But actually, where do I end? Because no elephant in the room there. That shit is right out. Okay. This is where I'm going to end. Okay. If where stuff's going to go. And this isn't fear mongering. This is actually where things are going to be headed if we keep acting like spoiled little fucking brats when it comes to freedom. And it's so sad that free speech is so watered down and white, all of it, freedom, free democracy, like all these buzzwords, because they are integral to human freedom and existence. People would die. People have died. Our own soldiers, vets have died for this freedom. And, we shit on it like the horse right out there is just minding its business, shitting like a foot away from me. But, okay, so today, this is another crazy story. So today marks the 37th anniversary of the massacre of God damn it. I was so proud because I had it down perfectly and I knew on camera I would fuck it up. Tiananmen. That's what it is. In 89 in Beijing. Right, where Chinese authorities, policemen basically just killed, slaughtered hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters in the name of democracy. And what is so crazy about this story is that the Chinese government is basically just trying to, it's censorship, right? Like they're trying to completely just stomp this out as if it never happened, to where victims' families were warned to not even pay visitation to the famous site today, because let's just say like it would not go well for them. And this event that happened in 89 actually was a huge, like, pivotal moment in China in establishing like the authorities' force and and all that, and the US, I think like Marco Rubio called it out, Taiwan's called it out, like you can't erase this, like you can't erase it. Having people like threatening them to go, even in Hong Kong, like security was high today, right? Like threatening them to go to the graves, to like quite literally erase history. And this is where it's like we start with one story, maybe it's like, whatever, it's not frivolous, it is, I guess serious, but petty, of like the Bari Weiss, Scott Pelley thing, all the way to an extreme like this. And that's what I mean, where it's like we have such American princess brat privilege that this is the kind of stuff that's happening right now in our world. I mean, hello. Iran, Gaza, like anywhere where you're gunned down for dissent of anything. Again, a woman showing a shoulder, God forbid you're gay. That's a whole other ball of wax for another day. But I'm saying, guys, like this stuff is going on all the time, all around us. And we're too busy holding on to our petty shit of my narrative. No, Bari Weiss is big, bad, and scary. All this bullshit. And so disillusioned to not realize that that could be us. So we better get our shit together. Right? Because now it's like, again, the tolerance, it drives me nuts. Like the tolerance is now complete intolerance. Quite literally think about it. When you think about, is Karen Bass, has LA progressed? Everybody has I was going to make a really sensitive joke. I'm not going to do it. Let's just say people are getting out of there like a bat out of hell. I did. But no, she's progressing the city. But no, the dinosaurs at CBS are really progressing the way the trajectory of the media has gone. So that's why we better get our priorities in check. And really think about, even if it's yourself, even if you see a story, or even if you see, a friend or a loved one or someone with a different point of view, or someone brings up CNN or Fox or whatever it is, and you have an adverse reaction, right? Think to yourself, why? And what are you protecting? Is it in the name of true progress, of moving forward, of freedom? Or is it petty ego and like stroking the dicks of CNN or Fox News one way or the other? I had to end on that note. I will see you guys next week. I'll be back in Nashville, and thank you for joining along and being along for this horse galloping ride, baby. That's going to be me in the next couple of days, and I will see you all soon. In the name of freedom, chin chin. I'm going to go have some bourbon. Chris, how was your pee break?
My pee break.
It might flash you.
Damn.
Random baby.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Quite an intro.
Let's address the elephant in the room. That's not the elephant in the room. There's no elephant. Nobody cares.
I too am a thought criminal.
Good. Well, I like you already.
Does this look like a girl who's joking around?
No.
But how much do you actually understand money, especially the new wave?
Beauty or intelligence? When you unleash both, it